Hello, guys, and welcome back. And I just wanted to add in another topic that I have been thinking a lot about as well. um, so I think a lot, obviously, um, about how many times do I have to come out before I'm out, And I think this is valid for a lot of people that have I guess, what used to be and what still kind of is a taboo sexuality, whatever, whatever you want to call it. Um, so, we all know last February I came out as bisexual, and that my life, basically I'd lived my life in a lie, basically tricking myself and believing that I could live the life that I was expected to live, that I'd been through so much worse than, pretending. I always had to pretend to be somebody that I wasn't, to please people or to fit this version of me that everybody thought I should have been. And I had a problem where I constantly needed to have approval or be accepted. And so, I've seen a lot of videos of people talking about this, since it's like a big question that a lot of people ask, and so therefore I'm going to put my own experience and my own thoughts on this. So, I have a very large family, most of which never really took a lot of time out to really want to know me. And my family, of course, like I said in my other videos, very Christian type family, and is not very accepted of bisexuality, homosexuality, what have you. So I didn't talk to a whole lot of my family anyway, so really a lot of what opinions that some of my family had didn't really matter to me. But there was family that I was close to, or that I have been close to, and that I still am close to, that took the news. Some of them took the news as in, I kind of figured, and some family was like, you better not be, disown you, I won't have anything to do with you, I won't talk to you no more, things like this. Which is why I lived a lie for so long, because I knew that's how these particular family members felt. Anyway, I wound up getting a lot of my family to come around and, be tolerant or, accept me. My grandmother is very tolerant and loves me, and therefore she just wants me to be happy. And so, even though she doesn't agree with it, she doesn't feel like she can stand up for me, I guess. So really, I really don't want her to stand up for me either. I mean, this is something that I live with, that I have to deal with. She shouldn't have to deal with it, other than the fact that she should accept me for me, and she does. But, after coming out to family and friends and gaining a job and stuff, I don't go around telling my landlords or, about my sexuality or anything like that, but my particular landlord now is also my boss. And when we were talking before he became my boss, or just as we were talking about me starting to work for him, I was telling him about bipolar disorder. We were talking on the subject. I don't remember how it came up. It just came up. And I remember his response was a very it was a negative response, being that he had mentioned or commented that he associated bipolar disorder with people who were gay. And, you know, for me, it's like, bipolar disorder doesn't make you gay. But nonetheless, my landlord has no idea what my sexuality is, or my boss, and I have no rhyme or reason to tell him. But I noticed that I started to have a fear that if he somehow stumbled across the information, that it might affect me working for him, which really would suck because I love my job. And my sexuality has nothing to do with the quality of work that I do, or, you know, basically how I tend to my job or my work. So yeah, so I keep coming across the questions like, how many times do I have to come out? How many people do I have to tell or have to, let know about my situation? And I come to a realization it really just depends. Like, my boss or my landlord doesn't really need to know my sexuality, and nor do I have any, want for him to know or to tell him or anything like that. But I noticed that I'm probably not the only one that has this fear of this. And like I've said in my previous video, I don't like to limit. I like to know his views, because at least I know, you know what I mean? Versus having it hidden and just not know up front, I guess you could say. Life is difficult, no matter what situation you're in. And it doesn't matter what sexuality you are, or where you come from, or what your background is, or what your culture is, or what type of race you are, or just religion, or whatever. I have a lot of different stances on politics, religion, which really it's not like a stance on religion. I like learning about other religions and getting an understanding of other beliefs and other things. I love knowledge. But when you first come out, it's like liberating. It's like you're finally accepting yourself. You're not telling these people because you feel like they need to know. It's more for you and not for them. And because at this point it's self-acceptance, but you also want the people around you to know, so you don't feel like you also have to hide it, or that it's like some sort of dirty secret that you have, or a skeleton in your closet. I really don't know why I'm making this video. This was like a harder video to make, because every situation is different. I like to say that I'm like 100% out to most people, but then again I have to change it to 90% because some people don't know, because I don't feel like they have a need to know. Like if I go to school and I have a teacher, she doesn't need to know if I'm straight, bi, gay. I mean, that really doesn't have anything to do with my education, just like my boss or my landlord has nothing to do with my, he doesn't need to know that. It's like none of his business in any which case or whatever. So, I think the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I feel like, I know I'm not the only person in this situation. There are so many people that's in the closet, or some people that just don't know, they're confused, or when they do come out, they're not sure how to handle certain situations. And this is one of those situations that I'm not sure how to handle, other than do my job and, you know, take care of my stuff on time. I do have a fear, but really, I'm not too much worried about it. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I worry that I guess I still worry about how other people would take it, react, or how it would impact me in a negative way. And really, I know, a lot of my videos are positive and serious and stuff, but I like to show that I'm not serious all the time. I'm more playful for the most part, but I like to give advice. And the advice that I like to give is, or I would like to give on this is, if you feel like the person around you needs to know because it's imperative to your life, then come out to that person. But if you feel like that really coming out wouldn't really do anything to the situation other than cause more of a uncomfortable situation for not only you but the other person, then it's probably better just, left untalked about, which also is kind of hard because, in my line of work, when I take breaks and stuff, I like to check up on other YouTubers and like Allie Hill, she's awesome, or Chrissy and Bria. They're awesome. I like their videos, and I do find myself watching their videos sometimes on my breaks at work. Now this kind of hits home a little because I know what my landlord's stance is, and I would very much like to change his mind, but therefore I don't really think it would better my situation at work or anything. So I'm just leaving it left untalked about. Whenever you meet somebody new, I guess you have to come out every time. There's always going to be somebody there to question you. Always somebody there to try to make you think, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's a good thing, It might get frustrating. I guess I look like I guess I look like I could be gay or whatever, especially when I wear my hats or dress like a tomboy. But I don't feel like I come off that way to people. So with some, it's hard for them to understand or realize, and therefore they like if they know, they like to talk about it a lot. And it's more or less a question. And some of those questions can feel like interrogations sometimes. When really, I've learned that you've got to look at it from that person's point of view, maybe they just don't understand, why you are like that, some people will think it's because of something happening, and that very well may be true. I've been through a lot in my life, and, but really, I think it's not like a choice. It's more like just a part of you. And I realized that part of me didn't know. Like, I was confused a lot of the time. I wasn't 100% sure. I knew, but I wasn't like 100% positive that I wanted to bring this up because I might change later. And that's the great thing about life. People always change. So, but what I've realized is that I've been this way for a long time. I always knew that I was different. And that was a hard thing for me. And this can apply to anyone in any situation. If you feel like you're different or you just don't fit in somewhere, then you're always wondering why or what's wrong with you or whatever. And it's not really that there's anything wrong with you. It's more or less that there's part of yourself that you just don't understand yet or just don't fully understand yet. And that's where I was for a long time. I didn't start questioning until I was about 15, and I haven't stopped questioning since. Until February. What's it been like? It's been a very long road, and I'm just beginning this process. For one, I now am speaking out and talking about it more to those who will listen. But I've also found it hard because now I don't fully know how to make new friendships with people like myself. I want to find and develop friendships with other lesbian, gay, bisexual people to expand my world, to expand my understanding and get other people's point of view so that I can also have another point of view and change and grow from that. And that's where I'm getting stuck, I think. Because, I've been out since February, and I've been trying to connect in this, or somehow find a way to connect in this community, but I feel like I'm being blocked somehow. And, this is a point in my life that I could use advice. And that I haven't find any YouTubers talking about this kind of stuff. So I'm basically coming out to talk about it as much as I can and ask questions. Maybe somebody viewing this can talk with me or something. I want very much so to be a part of the LGBTQ community, more so than just knowing that I'm bisexual, and that can change, just like everyone else and everything else in life, it can change at any point in time. I classify myself as bisexual because, literally, I've only been in heterosexual relationships. I've never had the experience of the same sex relationship before, ever. Nor do I know how to go about even making friends with somebody. Because a lot of friends that I have, a few of them know, some of them don't, because they're not like a huge part of my life. So I don't really feel the need to tell them. But at the same time, I've connected with maybe one person online years ago, and she's become very busy in her life, and she was in the same situation I was, and I found it very enlightening and less lonely to have somebody to talk to that was in the same situation that I'm in. I wish I knew where to go, who to talk to, how to connect. It's obviously something I think about all the time for a while now. I did even before I came out. I thought about how can I connect with somebody. and just have somebody to talk to, or to try to get an understanding, or even options or ideas. I know I'm not the only one out there that's having this problem, but I very much do feel like I'm like somehow locked out of advancing into these types of friendships. And it's a shame, you know. I have a lot to bring to a friendship. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can bring a lot to a friendship with me. And I'm missing out on that, so that's frustrating. I mean, have any of you really are in this situation, find it hard or difficult, or you just don't know how or what steps to take to become more a part of this type of community, to have these types of friendships? Or, you know, it's harder when you don't like go to school or go to a lot of places. Therefore, I did, like I said in another video, I went to a bar, obviously an LGBTQ bar, and it was a very awkward situation, you know. Like I also said in a previous video that I posted up tonight, and I believe before, that I am more of a sit back and watch and listen kind of person at first, but I'm finding it a little bit more difficult to connect or try to gain friendships or try to build friendships or even try to introduce myself into being able to start to develop these types of friendships with people, because it just seems like when I went to this place, I thought it would be more or less, you know, people reaching out, you know. From my understanding, a lot of the LGBTQ community is very open and welcoming, and try to, I guess, extend their hand out, when really that wasn't my experience my first time yet. And maybe it was just because it was my first time there and I looked like I was uncomfortable, because obviously I was a little uncomfortable. I mean, I'd never been in a bar before, for one. I've never been in that situation before, ever, you know, and the only types of groups of people I knew how to talk to or connect with were people from like school and stuff when I was younger. And those things don't apply now. I mean, everything's different. I started this YouTube channel to not only give advice and try to help others, but also figured that I could also try to gain some sort of experience from it as well. We need, like, people like myself need more of an understanding about this kind of stuff, because I mean, I've tried communities, I've tried apps online, I've tried chats online, I've tried going out to a bar. I mean, and I know it doesn't just happen overnight or just one time or whatever. You have to kind of keep getting yourself out there and being seen. And I don't know, it was just weird, because I was always the person that found the most uncomfortable person in a room and started talking to them. And it's not like that. When I went over there, I didn't see anybody that felt uncomfortable. I felt like everybody knew everybody, and everybody was so welcoming to each other. And people were moving around from group to group and just talking as if they've been friends forever. And that's what makes it a little bit more difficult. Because when you have people that know each other and that are, you know, very in tune with the community already, I I think there has to be an understanding within the community that there are people like me who have social anxiety, and there are people like me that are new and look uncomfortable. And in those situations, I think it would be helpful for at least one person to see that, spot that, try to understand, and, you know, try to interject themselves and, you know, help the new person, you know. So I can't be that new person right now. I am that new person right now. And I just wanted to bring some light on that. So if you're like me and you're having the same problem, you're not alone, which you probably already knew that, or some part of you, even if you doubted that, you now know you're not alone. And just keep trying. I'm just going to keep trying and see where this road takes me, where I'm led to. And I'm sure that one of these days, hopefully very soon, I'll be able to come on here and help out in some way, give some sort of advice that might help. I'm just going to keep putting myself in uncomfortable situations until I figure out exactly what to do, I guess. I've said this before, but it's like trial and error. I'm sorry, it's like 3:22 in the morning and I'm like a little tired, but I wanted to touch on this topic a little bit because I don't think it's discussed enough. I mean, I've been watching videos of other lesbian, bisexual YouTubers, at least the female ones, because obviously females and males are fundamentally a little different, and therefore we're going to have different experiences, and for some people it's a little easier than others. But I haven't found any situation where someone has said something like this before. So, if there's any advice that you could give or anything like that, that would be helpful. I don't mind ideas and brainstorming. Yeah, you remember that, brainstorming from like school if you're old enough, young enough. Do they even teach brainstorming in school anymore? Like, I don't even know. I need to ask my kids. Like, I don't think they're at that point yet. But, yeah, brainstorming some ideas, shooting some ideas, some thoughts around is always welcome and appreciated. I think that's just my final thought on this, and just to maybe spark a conversation. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Please share and tell anyone that you know that might need some advice to check out my channel. And hopefully I can get this channel up off the ground and running well. I'm hoping to get more subscribers and more viewers and start making this channel more important than what it is now. And we all have to start somewhere. So, you know, I'm just a newbie at the videos and at all of this. So, anyone want to help me out or give advice, it's more than welcome here. So yeah, I'm going to finish my drink and smoke a little bit more, and then I'm going to go to bed because I have to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning to be going to work at night. So yeah, like I said, I hope you guys like this video. I hope it helped, and if nothing else, let's spark a new conversation. Until next time, good night.